Hey guys out there, this is Vasile Garage. The introduction here. As you can tell, we got Rocky. Rocky. Yeah, Rocky. Yeah, you wanna dance? We got Della over here. Della, say hello. She's watching her TV show again. And then the boys doing some schoolwork over here.
No.
And we got the heater on, so that way everybody can stay nice and warm. Yeah, that was a 220. I had to wire out that sucker not too long ago. And today we're gonna do some work. Not sure what we got here, but it says it's fragile from Hong Kong, China, and no one cares. So let's open it up and see what we got here and see what we're gonna work with today, huh? All right. Let's see how we're gonna open this box here. Man, they take this sucker up, huh? I guess let's start from the bottom, huh? Yeah, buddy. Okay. Oh, just to give you an idea, some instructions, you know, I'm just gonna I'll put it down over here. Oh, got some screws, some bolts, some washers up in here. You probably get the clue what this might be. All right. Oh snap! What would God heal? What would God heal? Oh snap! Brand new spoon calipers. Oh doozies! What we going to do here? All right. Check the other one right here.
Play of Shape and Learn activity sets to help kids explore skills in a fun, creative way.
Oh yeah, this is spoon caliper number 2. Oh, nice and fresh. Oh, let me tell you, it's nothing like brand new. Yeah, so that's what we're going to work on today. And I'm going to I'm going to show you step by step how to install this. I had one comment or two, you know who you are, that said, hey man, stop fast forward to stuff and show step by step. For some of you guys that don't know how to change brakes or calipers and things like that. So I'm just gonna walk you through it and show you how this goes. Don't mind the little noise and headache back over there. This guy's over there. Rocky, you better be quiet, boy. You better be quiet so those guys can hear what I have to say. Rocky. Come on, Rocky. Come on, Rocky. Come on, Rocky. So we're at the part where we're about to unbolt the caliper, and the way I do it, since I'm putting a new caliper, I don't want to disconnect the brake line till like it's the last minute. So what I want to do is I want to disconnect the caliper, drop it down, put the new caliper, bolt it up, and then just swap the line. But you can loosen the line while it's on the bolted to the spindle, which makes it easier to do it while the caliper is out. Because if you have to hold the caliper in your hand and you have to loosen the brake line, it just makes it tough, and you might mess up. You might end up damaging the brake line or dropping your caliper or whatever. Now this is a ITR caliper. As you can tell, this sucker's pretty big and it's new. So I'm not gonna sell them. I'm gonna keep them for a what do you call it? In case something happens, who knows, part out the car later or something. But those brakes are great. ITR calipers are great. The reason I'm upgrading to a spoon caliper is because I tend to beat on my car quite a bit and like to go fast or whatever, you know. But the kind of beating I'm putting on the car, why I want to use a 4-piston instead of 1. But also makes it look cooler too, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, just gonna go ahead and show you. So you have your I'm gonna put the light right here. I don't know if you can see it, but you have your line right there bolted up to the spindle. You have it right here bolted to the caliper. Now don't forget there's a copper washer in front and in the back. So when you bolt it back up to the new caliper, make sure that those washers are in there, otherwise you're gonna have a leak. And you have the bolts that holds the caliper right here. I don't know if you can see very well, but it's one there and it's one at the bottom there. Once you loosen those up, pretty much your caliper's out. But we're just gonna go ahead and loosen this one up a little bit and kind of snug it back in and disconnect it right there. And I probably need to get something to support the caliper because I don't want to hang it on the brake line to put stress on the line and it maybe come undone or damage it. So we're just gonna do that and go from there. Let's put this right here so you can have an idea of what's going on. Now this is a 10mm and I believe this is a 7/16. And then one on the back is a 17mm. So that's what you need right there. You just set it down here. A 7/16 or 11 is the same thing, so you can work with it. Does not work with the drill, then you're gonna have to use a ratchet. So That's it right there. Now, another thing that you might want to know when you do spoon calipers, upgrade, if you have ITR calipers, pretty much the pads, they transfer over. So, since I'm using, since I already have the ITR calipers, I don't have to buy pads. And those are Hawks pads, so they're really nice. I don't have to buy, you know, aftermarket pads. So it's your choice. They make all kinds of pads for those calipers, so you can run. But I'm not gonna go ahead and just buy new pads, which my pads are in pretty good shape. And as you can tell right there, it's pretty good shape. The other thing is, using those calipers, which is I'm not gonna replace the rotor anytime soon. This is a 11.2 rotor, which comes off a Mini Cooper. So actually, that's just, I think it's 0.2 millimeter bigger than an ITR, so it's bigger. The other thing is, when the benefit of using the ITR pads on the same rotor with the new upgraded caliper is because they already have some wear grooves into those pads. So now we're just getting to use the same pads and we don't have to break in the caliper because the pads are already broken in. So that's kind of plus right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and just now when you disconnect those pads, make sure you are going to put them the same way they were on the new caliper. Usually the one that has the piece in the back, it's for when the brake, it's a warning. When it tells you that your pads is gone, that's the one that actually goes in the back towards the axle. So it's kind of self-explanatory, but for some of you guys out there that don't know, when you see that piece right there, that means that's where it goes. It goes towards the back of the rotor. So make sure you always keep your hands clean, especially if you use a new caliper. You don't want to get it dirty. If you're OCD, like me, you probably, you know. So we got the caliper here, nice. Got a deal right there. So we're gonna do, and it comes with their own bolts and washers, so that's kind of cool. So sometimes this washer could be used as a spacer between the caliper to space it out with the center. I haven't read through the instruction, but some calipers differ. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it up and see what it sits on the rotor, see if it sits center. Now, if you're gonna put the caliper on, make sure you have your bolts that holds the rotor in place. Like, make sure these bolts were in there, so this doesn't move, it's solid. So don't mind the noise. Got my kids in here playing or doing some schoolwork and stuff, so just kind of bear with me on this. Go ahead. Hey, Tacos. Yo! Come on, wait. See, that's the new bolt versus the factory. So you can tell there's some difference there. There's some length, a lot longer. And it looks like the thread pitch is the same. Excuse me. Now make sure when you put the caliper, it goes a certain way. The breather always on top. The breather is always on top. Otherwise, you can never bleed the brakes. So if you have this line facing up, which you bolt up to the wall, that means you got the wrong caliper. So just to show you that. as you can see, you got the breather, always pointing up, no matter, always gotta be up. They already kind of pushed in the calipers, so it's kind of nice and cool. So you don't have to push the calipers in, as you can tell. It's a 4-piston. Okay, one thing that I just now noticed is that this piece right there, actually when you put it against the caliper, since it doesn't have the opening like this one, the factory, see how the factory's got an opening right there at the end? This will hit the back, so we might just have to grind this piece up, so just bear with me. Cut that piece off right there, removed it, and we can just put the caliper back in right there. There you have it. Got the new bolt right there. Got one of the new washers. So I tried to test fit the caliper, and it looks like the dust shield right here. This right here, it's kind of like touching right about there. It looks like it's already been bent and cut because this is a probably factory Integra spindle, and it's not made to run the ITR caliper. So the ITR dust shield is probably the factory. It's a lot for the back, so we're probably gonna have to trim right here and right here to make this fit. In order to do that, we can use some T-snips. Hopefully it will reach deep in there. Cut this piece off, and then cut some at the bottom too. I know it's kind of hard to cut it on the car, but hey, what do you gotta do? You gotta do what you gotta do. There you go. Now when you do that, make sure it does not touch. The dust shield does not touch the rotor. Okay, so without putting the calipers in, we're gonna test fit again the caliper. Start with the bottom bolt or the top, whichever you prefer. So now you gotta be dead on once you put this in, because if you strip those bolts, man, that's really gonna suck. So those are fine threads bolts, so you gotta make sure you like go in smooth. So we got one side in. Now, that's a test fit right there. See that? How the line of the center of the caliper, it runs to the center of the rotor. That's what you want right there. That's how you know if you need to space out the caliper inwards or outwards. So there you have it for spoon. But that being said, caliper is there. We're just gonna take it back out, put the pads in, and I'm gonna probably use some blue Loctite for the back bolts. There's some blue Loctite right there. You can see. You just put a drop or two. You don't have to go crazy with the Loctite, so you know, something like that. Nothing crazy. And then do it on the both side you're working, so that way they don't dry out while you wait for the other side to go. Put the Loctite right before you install the part. So always make sure you keep it tight and close, so that way they don't dry out. You put the pads back in. There you go. Then you take the bolt with the Loctite and just wiggle till find the right spot for it. You guys be nice. Alright, once you get that done, then you're gonna disconnect the line. Disconnect the line of the caliper. once you disconnect the line, make sure you have the 2 copper lines. See that? The 2 copper washers? And then just come right here and bolt it up. And then the faster you move, the less mess you have, the less oil you have running down the floor or on the caliper or whatever. It's always good to have a rag handy. You just wipe it down. So that way you don't lose a lot of fluid from the reservoir. Because once you lose the fluid, then you're gonna have to bleed the whole car. Now if you do this, all you gotta bleed just the 2 front calipers. So it makes it easier. And when you bleed, you always go from the farthest wheel from the master cylinder. So it will be back passenger to the back driver to the front passenger and the front driver side in that order. Just wipe it down nice and clean. Get all the oil. Make sure there's no oil on the rotor or anything. Make sure it's nice and snug. They can strip very easily because those are fine thread bolts. So, and probably gonna let this fluid come out of this so that way. And those are new calipers, the ITR calipers. Came out quite a bit actually. That was, but. So now that you did this, you repeat the process to the other side. Don't forget to put these 2 bolts right here. The one on top, the 210mm. Make sure those bolts are straight when they go in, otherwise they'll strip out.
Why not eating them? That's one of the colors.
Huh, that's weird. I mean, I took it out from the same side. Weird. Guys out there, what we have here, we got Tara. She's gonna help me with the other side. She works night shift, so she has to sleep in. So she missed the first step, the other side, the driver's side. So I'm gonna have to walk her through how to do this side.
All right, so he's broken it down for me a little bit, and if I can do it, then you can for sure do it. Not very mechanically inclined. So I grew up in the shop pretty much with my dad, but he did body work, and helped a little bit here and there, but not a whole lot. So Daniel and I have been married for about 10 years. Spent a lot of time in garages and car shows together and tracks, and so thought it was about time I started learning my own stuff. So, anyways, all right, so we're gonna take the wheels off.
we're gonna bleed the brakes. You start from the farthest, from the master cylinder. And in this case, since we did it on the front, we're starting with the passenger side. So what I got over here, I got a hose that runs down into this bottle right here, this cup. And then I'm gonna have Tara pump about 5 times. And I'm gonna have her hold. When she's gonna hold, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna, right here, release. So, Tara, go ahead, pump 5 times. Now you also wanna make sure that you have brake fluid in your reservoir. So it's probably good to like open it up and just kind of leave it hanging in there like that. And that way you can keep an eye on it. See, I'm kind of halfway there. So you got some brake fluid and just kind of keep an eye on it. So I'm gonna have to pump it 5 times and I have her hold. Are you holding? Okay, so when she holds, you can see the fluid just start coming out, but with bubbles in it. Go ahead, pump again. And we'll do this process. We did this process. There's no more bubbles, and it's clear. Holding. Go ahead, keep pumping. And then we'll do this side, and then we're gonna move to this side. And after this, we're gonna move to the driver's side. So we topped off the brake fluid, closed the cap. As you saw, it's on fresh fluid. Now, when you beat the brakes and you see black fluid coming out, it's probably best so you can run it through till you get all new fluids. Now we're just gonna put the wheels back up, torque them down, and then let it rip. Now, when you torque the wheels, I usually use about 130. This is a Mako, and it's a pretty pricey one. So I can put about 130. The way to do this one, you just pull down. You pull down and twist it up. So I'm gonna give it to Tara here. Okay, what do you gotta say, Tara? You're gonna clean up the stuff? No, that's gonna go back in the box. But
All right, that's it. We did it. We're done.
so, with the help of Tara, we got to get this thing done. Would have been a lot faster if I would have done it, but it's a process of learning. Because later she's probably gonna get her project car, and she can do her own stuff. So, got us very excited that we're done.
All right, now for D. Daniel's favorite part where we clean everything up and put it all back nice and neat. So let's see, we'll start with our torque wrench. For those of you with nice expensive torque wrenches at home, you need to release the tension, otherwise it'll throw off the spring on the inside and won't be the right compression anymore. So before we put that back,
in other words, it's gonna throw off the torque specs over time if you just keep it, all the way where you left it at 130. So you always gotta wind it back, you know what I'm saying? Back to zero. Especially if you have a $400 or $500 or more. This is probably like a $550 Mako torque wrench, and comes in handy quite a bit. I use it at 130 for the wheels, but everybody's different, you know. So this is the part that Tara hates the most, cleaning or picking up. So I'm gonna make her pick up the tools, wipe them down, put them away, you know.